Sky Temple, we are in the losers bracket final, everybody. What the hell is this? Abathur getting banned. Heresy. That is not a logical decision, not even in the slightest. That's the yellow card, if anything. What just happened there? We can't simply ban Abathur. They banned the slug. Literally their first move out the door. I mean, in my... That's honestly game 1 lost. Bam. Nakiveen 1-0. That's my personal reaction to that. Well, we're heading into the losers brackets final, everybody. It's a best of 5 series. We got Sloth Sanctuary going up against Nakiveen in an attempt to make it to the grand final. Dehaka gets banned as well, so here on Sky it seems like teams want to get rid of some of the globals. We are in the Underdog Cup, Division 4 and 5. The lowest divisions in Heroes Lounge can play here, which means that we're getting pretty much anything from bronze players to silver, gold, and platinum. That's roughly the range that we're talking about here. So typically we are focusing on the top end of the player base. Right now we're looking towards the bottom end, just as a little bit of a fun thing to shake things up, give the amateur scene a chance to shine a little bit, have some fun also with the picks that we're getting and with some of the strategies and decisions that are made, and we had quite a lot of that already. So with that said and done, also quick pointing out that we have still a draft rule in the game, which means that heroes can only be played once within a series. That obviously impacts the teams significantly already when we're heading into game number 3, even more so when we find ourselves in the best of 5 series as we do right now, where technically we could go to game 5. After game 2, you're starting to have a couple of players that are having trouble with their hero pool. Lots of these guys play thousands of games, but typically what you're seeing on the bottom end is that people just focus on like 2 or 3 heroes. If you're in game number 3, that means that 20 heroes are already banned, and then also you have obviously 6 more that get banned in a draft. And most of these guys know each other. The teams know each other. They can also look at each other's accounts and just figure out, okay, what are we picking for ourselves and what do we ban away from the opponent? And you can really push somebody into playing a hero that they might not be that familiar with. So, yeah, we'll see. Anduin gets picked as a first pick. We get Li Ming and ETC, whereas Sylvanas and Falstad get locked in from Nakiveen, the Finnish team in blue, with a nice comp. Could definitely play around the opponent with that. Sylvanas pushing one lane, Falstad being on the other. With ETC, you have now a tank that can also go into a global and can try and use that to mirror Falstad movements a little bit. Leo got banned after Abathur. Still unbelievable. They banned Abby. How dare they? I'm gonna turn into Greta at some point. How dare you! So, yep, unbelievable. Now, Junkrat banned out, and, well, we get the final ban for map number 1. And, yeah, I'm kind of curious what we get for the front line on the side of Nakiveen now. We had a couple of crazy picks for them in the past as well. Brightwing gets eliminated, so it means we only have 1 global, with the Haka also banned out. But party time, let's go boys. I want to see what the front line looks like. This is still game number 1, so plenty available. Can't wait for game 3 or 4. Then we're gonna most likely get some pretty fancy picks. But who knows, maybe somebody's gonna bust out the Vikings early or something along those lines. For now, we have Thrall and Rega. So, we go double Orc here. Yeah, full smoke play. Rega, one of the most picked supports these days in most of the tournaments. I mean, he is getting locked in like crazy. Going up against Anduin this time. Little pretty boy over there. Ooh, Arthurs and Jimmy. Okay, so if those two play on the same lane, we're gonna get Ace in the hole and Arthur's just slowing everybody down so that Jimmy can proc the extra damage. Not really the combo that I thought we would see in game number 1, but obviously they played it before in the tournament, so it doesn't quite come as a mega shock. Still, that leaves ETC as our side laner, I suppose, and more or less guarantees stage dive against Falstad. Our final pick, As we're heading into game number 1, we get a Nubarak. So, going for a bit of a dive here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, loser bracket final, the Sloth Sanctuary going up against Nakiveen, and map number 1 is Sky Temple. On the left side, the blue team with Odorox on a Nubarak. We got TT on Sylvanas. Lazamehu with Rega, Simba is playing Thrall, and we got the slithery Snack without the snack on Falstad. He's probably the reason why they banned out Abathar. I finally want to see him on his main hero, at least if the name is any indication. On the right side, in red, we got Zalt's Decay, as expected, with Ace in the hole on level 1. He's going to benefit from Arthur's a whole lot. Reyna in the house as their auto-attacker. Morpheus on ETC. We got Paradox on Arthur's with Rhyme on level 1. The Rabbit is playing Liming. And we got Nasha on Anduin. So, let's go. Down at the bottom of the map. Yeah. Okay. Rabbit is actually a kind of fun name. I really like that. I had always an idea for a cycling jersey for a long time. I just need more people that want one, interested in that. But I want to have a jersey where on the back of your jersey you have a rabbit displayed. And on the front of the jersey you have a wolf. So you basically have the wolves chasing the rabbits the entire time. And it would be absolutely glorious. So for the next race that I do, at some point I just want this. It would be amazing if we had entire teams of wolves and rabbits, you know, just like participating in the Grand Fondo. Or in one of the amateur races doing their thing there. Yeah, you're trying to escape from a group, you turn around and you just like see the wolf right at the front of the jersey. Awesome idea, but yeah, need a few more in order to make that a thing. Anyways, nothing really to do with Heroes of the Storm, but every time I see Rabbit playing in this tournament, it kind of reminds me of that idea a little bit. So camps are currently claimed. No big fights. There's easy plays as we have ETC trying to deal with the Siege Giants at the bottom of the map. And Nubarak seems to be willing to dive with Sylvanas onto the camp. They're kind of asking for trouble a little bit. So there's currently 2 defenders, but they have Sylvanas here now as well. Don't tell me they can actually steal this. The reaction of the team is a bit late. Force that flies in, there's no way, right? This is going to be a disaster for him. Don't tell... They actually steal the camp. No, Falstad is dead. The rest jumps out. So, okay. This did not quite work out. I like that they're trying it, though. I actually like that they tried it. But, yeah. For that, they have to be a bit more snappy. I think if Falstad comes in a bit earlier and they take the camp together, then they might have a shot here. But the way that they played it, not really. I like that they are aggressive on the map, though, and that they're trying to come up with some ideas here. So, kudos to them. That was a nice little attempt. It backfired a little bit, but hey, at least they went for it. So, when we're talking about Arthurs, we now have Deathlord on level 4. Objective is up, bit of a push in the middle of the map as well. Sylvanas currently at the bottom of the map and should honestly stay there, and does. So, now the Inspire buff is procced. The red team is slowly rotating over. Sylvanas realizes that it's time to back off. But again, that's structural damage done for free. That's all for free, right there. Free damage on towers, on the gate. And it forced the red team to protect the bottom of the map. So this allowed in turn then the rest of the blue team to go for those temples a bit earlier. They get some shots fired. And Sylvanas can still push at the bottom, as she does. And I actually like this. I think this is really sweet and a smart move, because the red team has some problem reacting in time. I don't know why Jimmy... Okay, Jimmy is finally starting to move down, but Falstad is now there too, so Jimmy is going to be outnumbered in a second, and so far he didn't even know. So that wall gets destroyed, and since nobody contests the Nubarak on the top temple, that means that they're still soaking an entire temple of shots, and they're getting the value at the bottom of the map. So it's massive value right now for Nakiveen. And just by this little rotational play, I mean, Sylvanas is now pushing with 2 more heroes, and they're trying to go in for that fort. Arthas has tried to contest the top for just a second, but not able to do really a whole lot here either. So the fort has taken some damage, same is happening in the middle. Each team got 1 channel through, but... As I said before, with the play at the bottom of the map, it means that structurally Nakiveen has now pulled ahead in this game. Not by a lot, But you make a couple of plays like this, and all of a sudden we're talking about a fort or a keep that you are ahead of your opponent. Slight advantage in experience for the Sloth Sanctuary. We have Cam still targeted pretty aggressively, as you would expect. Zolsticade and his boys have also taken the Siege Giants, so they try to go for the snack here. 13 stacks for ETC. Jimmy on level 7, again with heavy slugs, so trying to go for the extra slow that he's going to get with this. And Sylvanas is again doing her thing in the middle, so this time she's sitting here. Jimmy is coming in a bit late. Sylvanas has to try and get away from this, jumps out, but you can already tell what's happening on the mid lane. Both, like all of the structures are essentially down. So she's making play after play like this, and this side lane pressure that we see from TT is going to be incredibly annoying for the red team. If Sylvanas continues to do this, there will be several forts that will be eliminated just because of that. They're going for Thrall, force him to get the cooldown, and Thrall is a bit too low. That's actually getting dangerous. I mean, Jimmy was coming in to help him out, but still. So now, with that, we have the middle still getting attacked here. Sylvanas is sitting topside, by the way, so she's just staying away from the early temples. They're not making a move for that at all. They're just going for a double team against Arthas to try and push Paradox back and capitalize on that minion wave. So Sylvanas is already in here to make sure that she doesn't move too far into range of that fort. But now they're burning the minion wave down, can get the Inspire buff, and it's a 2 versus 1. And they're going to be able to get easy damage on this. This is likely going to be a fort. Next minion wave comes in, Inspire buff is already in play. They're getting, in exchange, the temple at the bottom of the map, but that's structural damage. And the fort is gone. So, they are still ahead. Even that temple, when fully soaked, is not going to help them completely. Jimmy is committing to his ult and dropping the Hyperion quickly as the blue team is now collapsing onto the mid lane, trying to get the damage in on Li Ming, who is suffering a lot and down to 50% of her HP. Even with Arthas moving in, this is still extra structures that have to be taken out, and with the Inspire buff and 3 heroes attacking, this means that the mid lane fort is suffering tons of hit point losses. So again, even though they don't go for the objective, they pulled ahead. Big pancake move, by the way. Ooh, disintegrate. I mean, we got a Nubarak, so yeah, against Cocoon you want that. But big fight at the bottom of the map now as well, and Anduin does what he does best, runs away, but is able to get out. So Li Ming is able to take Falstad out. That's where it starts to get problematic. On structures, the blue team is doing exceptionally well. Team fights, not so much. So one fort gets now destroyed, but structurally, of course, we have them. We have the red blue team still ahead. Look at that pancake move, by the way. Sylvanas just gets absolutely flattened here. ETC, boom. He drops her. The blue team has to win some fights at some point, though. So I like the way that they're playing the macro end, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for them. This might get dangerous. Now, camps still focused time and time again by them. Ults, no surprises. Again, against Cocoon, you go disintegrate so that you can win the cooldown trade with ease. But right now, they are getting a bit more even. There's an advantage for the blue team in hit points on their structures, especially, of course, in the middle of the map. Sylvanas went possession, as you do, and is getting them lots and lots of action throughout the lanes. But once that the forts are gone, it's also going to be very difficult for her to continue that style of play, because you have to go so much deeper in order to start attacking keeps. When we're talking boss fight, it also is going to get interesting with the ults that they have. Hyperion is going to be a huge tool, but on the other side we have Earthquake, Gust, Wailing Arrow and Cocoon, so there's a good chance that the blue team, if they coordinate their ults well, can even steal one. Top lane push, but in the middle, that's a fort. Yep. They are still a bit behind in experience, but structurally they're making play after play after play. And now they have, again, a double team at the bottom of the map. This time going up against ETC. So Rhaegar is playing this super safe. Stays a bit farther to the back so that if Falstad gets attacked, he can still heal that out. We have one temple at the bottom of the map and the other one spawning top. Thrall just keeps poking. Top side, they should probably get it. Anubarak is now even moving down to the bottom of the map in order to help them out here. And yeah, this is where we're gonna have a look at those teamfight abilities again. ETC with his ult back up and ready, so he could start jumping towards the top. Gets cocooned, and that means that Jimmy is all alone. Jimmy alone and dead. Rega with the shuttle, and that's another fort eliminated, which means the final fort is now gone. And Sloth Sanctuary, they are able to get the shots fired through the top lane now. But this is still nowhere near enough to get them on parity with the blue team. So Nakiveen is ahead on the objective, on structures, and will be starting to go for keeps from here on out. Good for them. 1 kill is all they got so far, though. Oh, and they even have to give up a couple of the shots at the top lane. That makes it worse. Yeah, that really sucks for them now. Now they're behind in experience and they're behind in structures. So this is really starting to be a problem. And oh, they actually go for the boss here. Alright, so they try to get the boss. There's a big push at the top happening, on the other hand. And they haven't realized that yet. They haven't realized that the boss is being taken. If they just push, though, they will. But now Sylvanas comes in. I mean, guys, at some point they gotta ask themselves, where exactly is our opponent? And Nubarak, okay, sees it. They still don't have vision. Yeah, that was too late. They might get a kill, though. They're able to go for Jimmy, and he's dead. Jimmy is down. Earthquake from Thrall. Red team can be very, very happy that they didn't come in a second earlier, or this would have been an utter disaster. But still, at least they got the boss. But I have to say, Nakiveen, they might have looked into that Finnish vodka a little bit too much, because it took them an eternity to figure out that there was a boss attempt. I mean, they essentially got sent a snail mail. That's how long it took. They were just like, yeah, this is totally normal that only one of our opponents is showing on the map. Not that that boss did a whole lot. They at least got a kill with it. But I expected them to move in a bit earlier than that. So, right now, we have level 16 on both sides. That gives us Paint Them Red. We have also Mirror Ball for the red team. Next shrines, next temples are now coming up in the middle. And this time we're talking about a single. So, this is gonna be a bit more interesting. Because there's very likely gonna be a fight for this. I'm not quite sure if somebody like Sylvanas is really willing to go deep enough to attack a keep while this fight is raging on. So there's a good chance that the fight over the temple here is going to be something where both teams are showing up in force. ETC maybe a bit later than anyone else because he has still his global that he can use. Anduin teasing the 16 like he's not going for the double pull. Like, come on, dude. Who are you kidding here? Wait for the talent to kick in and being exactly what everybody expects. Oh no, what a shock. Oh, he didn't, what? Holy Nova? Yeah, that's a mistake, dude. Nasha, I like you, but I don't think that's the play right here. So, more damage, is that really needed? Over your second trade? That thing is so OP that initially it was a level 20 talent. That is wild. That's a wild choice right there. ETC says hello. Gets attacked immediately. Li Ming goes for the laser. Li Ming goes brrrr, and then Anduin dies. Anduin dies, but Sylvanas got taken out too. So here comes the army. Oh, Jimmy. My man was low, but somehow made it. Now Li Ming is low, but gets the kill, and then Jimmy dies too. If they can kill Li Ming, then there's no damage dealer left anymore. Yep, even with the resets, she goes down. That's now 3-2 on the map. Not a whole lot left for the red team, but they're getting the shots. They get the shots fired, but they might lose ETC. He gets out. But there's more damage done at the top now. I still can't believe that Anduin actually did it. I was fully expecting him to just troll us and be like, yeah, you know, I'm hesitating here, but then I'm going to pick the talent that everybody takes. There's a reason why everybody takes it. Because it's OP as hell. So, yeah. Anyways, 5 kills to 5. 1 level advantage now for Nakiveen. And keep damage in the mid lane. Bosses, by the way, back up in a minute and 45 seconds. The blue team still has a fort. Still has a fort at the top lane. And now that wall has been opened up, so we have 2 keeps that are exposed. couple of camps still around, of course. Damage output, we have 28,000 for Li Ming. 26,000 for Thrall. Sylvanas with 14,000. Falster on 18k. And Jimmy is not looking too bad either. He died 3 times, but he has 26,000 damage at least. He's the hero that got murdered the most in this game. And the red team is a bit hesitant now. Level 20 will be ready in moments for Nakivin. So the sloths, they are not really happy about this. And the timing is just perfect with that temple. So they're gonna have the level 20 advantage going for the 2 temples, and this should be a keep in the middle. They're actually going for the keep even without the temples. They're just going straight in for it for more damage, and they might be able to take the entire thing before the temples even spawn. Even if they don't, just soaking a couple of shots in the mid temple now is going to be all that they need here. So 1 keep is 100% gone, and if they just move with Falster to the top, they should be able to eliminate a second one as well. So they're in a fantastic spot to pull massively ahead on the objective. So double hits on the top side temple right now. This one is going to fall one way or another. Falstad will have to move back here and give up some of the shots, but the blue team still has access to the one in the middle, so the keep is going to get destroyed 100%. Sylvanas is even pushing the mid lane out further, goes straight in and takes the minion wave out. Gets the catapult and is now trying to push towards the core. But the aggression is now happening, so they're actually starting to attack here. They gave up the final shots at the temple top side in order to try and prevent the worst through the mid lane. Falstad is instantly retaking control over the top and is getting shots fired against the final remaining keep. Nubarak also with the aggression in the middle. And they're not even fighting. I mean, at this point, they're just trying to play around them. The boss is back up on the map, by the way. So there's a good chance that the Sloth Sanctuary is going to throw a Hail Mary on the boss. And then we'll see how Nakivin reacts. If they're willing to fight with all the ults that they have, or if they're just pushing for structures again. And it seems like they're actually trying to get the boss first. Ooh, this could be a mistake. The red team is on the move. Do they know what's going on? Ah, they do. And they already fell back. I like the falling back part. I don't like the, hey, we're gonna ignore this now part. So if they do this, they have to get something out of it. And trading a boss for a bruiser camp is not typically what you call a win. Sylvanas is pushing in the middle to take another minion wave out. Could try and continue the same thing at the bottom of the map. So there's more pressure here, but the boss is going to be taken. The boss is taken, and now they're all hearthing back. So at a minimum, they want to take the keep now. And I guess they're going to get this one. They're trying to attack the core too. Yeah, ETC is going to start jumping in. And Rhaegar self-ancestrals and makes it out. The keep at the bottom of the map is going to die to the minions, by the way. Falls that gusts. Rhaegar gets away. And the bottom keep is maybe not dying to the minions? It's still in play. Yeah. That play towards the core was maybe not needed. They could have just gone for the final keep and take that out. To be fair, the next temple is going to take this out one way or another, and then we're going to talk about attacking the core directly. So structurally, there is just a massive advantage for Nakivin, and it's because they played around the opponent the entire time. They played the map and not so much the team fight, so they didn't just go brainlessly into one team battle after another, but they played the map instead. It's also reflected in some of the experience that they got. Minion experience, they actually fell behind because they were more interested in pushing for structures where they have taken the lead, but you can see it massively in the passive experience in particular. That's where they are ahead right now. ETC with the global could now play a big role as we have, again, 2 temples spawn. The keep will fall. Final keep will fall. The question is just simply, can you now pressure the core as well? So Thrall is the only one at the top. Sylvanas, yeah, sneaky as usual, just comes in and tries to get the catapults towards the core. Next minion wave is already there. Shots are fired. Keep at the bottom of the map is gone, and now the core is getting attacked directly. ETC is at the top. Thrall is willing to fight this. So they're going to go in the 1v1 there. 1v1 also in the middle of the map, as Sylvanas is playing against Jimmy, and apparently wants to have no part in this. But the core is now losing hit points. Thrall is getting the shots fired. Down at the bottom of the map, they're fighting. ETC, hearthing out, has to jump back in. They're losing the game here. They're losing the game here. Thrall tries to hold on to the top, and that is it. They win it through the map, through the macro, through the objective. Nakivin pulls ahead. GG.
We're going to head in game number 2 in a second. Guys, if you enjoy the content, if you like the coverage here, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. It really helps to spread the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past and might rejoin the game. So spread the love a little bit, help to promote the games here, like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of the series.
Map number 2, Towers of Doom. So, big macro game on map 1 by Nakivin. They have taken the lead. And they decided on the second map. It was the red team that wanted first pick. Loser always decides whether they have first pick, first ban, or map choice. They wanted first pick, first ban. So blue team gets to choose the map, and they went for Towers of Doom. 10 heroes, the 10 that were played on the first map, are now eliminated and can't be played again. That starts to limit the hero pool a little bit. Nothing too crazy for game number 2, but as we're progressing through the best of 5 series, this is obviously going to have more of an impact. And don't forget, Meta Madness is actually starting next week, Meta Madness number 9. And in that tournament, we will have also additional pre-bans before the tournament even starts. And that will make all of those games even a little bit more crazy. At least some of the usual suspects will be fully eliminated. So, right now, the Haga gets banned, and time will tell what the blue team has in mind here, because I wouldn't really put it past them to go for another macro game. Towers of Doom is a good map to try and pull that off. If you want to do that, maybe even Vikings. I mean, a man can hope. Depends a bit also on what the Sloths ban. They banned Abathur earlier, just saying. Oh, look at that! They're not banning anything. That's a statement right there. It's like, we don't even need to ban anything now. You pick whatever you want, boys. We don't care. Somebody forgot to hit the button. Captain fired. Need a new captain for sure. Oh boy. Okay, so as they miss their ban, the blue team gets rid of Stitches. Done with that. No hook gorge. Falstad is still up. So yeah. If Falstad gets picked at some right now, you still have an opportunity to go for Medivh Stitches, Falstad Stitches, any kind of isolation plays that you could try and go for. So once that we have certain heroes picked, then Stitches as a choice becomes less of a problem. Still annoying when you get hooked and gorged, but once that certain combos are unavailable, it makes the pick itself less dangerous, less threatening. Now Brightwing as a first pick. They went for the Fruit Fly. And, well, with that we got Stukov and Jojo. Alright, the Admiral is in the house. Okay, so after the red team chose the Flying Butt Plug as their first pick, the question is now what exactly they're going to follow that up with. We have still a few globals available. We have also Vikings. You could go into even some Moro plays. They go for Blaze, already good. Again, best side laner essentially as a hero. Hanzo together with that, so you can follow up those arrows as well. Or, well, jet propulsion into arrow or vice versa. So definitely a lot that they can do with the two as a combo in those team fights. Now, still curious to see what especially the main tank is going to be for them. And I want to see if we're going to get some X-Factor pick for maybe Nakivin. Because in Towers of Doom you could play Vikings. We have seen Samuro here. Abathur banned early is already one of those things, you know, where it's like, well, they could maybe play Abathur too. But honestly, if you go for Jojo and Stukov initially, Abathur doesn't really scream Abathur. If you have Muradin and Rhaegar here, just to name another example, or the Lucio, would be a different story. But with that, I don't really think so. I mean, we'll see. For now, we have Garrosh banned out, so they're targeting the front line, obviously, with their bans. Nakivin is trying to ban that out as best as they can. Sonya gets eliminated. They already have their own side laner, so that's not really a problem. But since this is game number 2 only, you still have plenty of options here. But, obviously, Leo banned, Sonya banned, so they're targeting the side lane. For range damage, on the other hand, what are we going to get here? Keep in mind, we also have a few decent mages still in the list. But we get Zul and Junkrat. They bust out Zul pretty early. Earlier than I thought they would. Okay. So we're going to get the side lane rotation from Zul, mid lane, top lane. Blaze has to try and match this. So lots of wave clear and technically also a lot of sustain during team fights. Always assuming that Zul doesn't get completely stunned out. As long as he keeps attacking, he is going to sustain himself. Could really be a nice one for them. Chromie and Muradin. Alright, Blaze, Muradin, lots of stuns available here. Lots of stuns and lots of CC. With our final pick coming through for Nakivin. Any surprises? It doesn't really look like it. It honestly looks pretty much like we're going to get a more or less meta comp. Zul obviously a bit of an outlier pick here, but still nothing unheard of. Map number 2 in the best of 5. And let's see what the blue team can do with it. They had a great macro game on map number 1. Can they repeat that? Final choice is Tacita. And with that, we're ready for this second map. So, Sloth Sanctuary, once again, against Nakivin, everybody. We're headed to Towers of Doom. The blue team on map 2 with Ordorox on Johanna. We got TT on Tacita. Slithery Snack on Junkrat. Lazamehu is playing Stukov for the blue team. And we get Simba on Zul. Over on the right side, it's Morpheus on Muradin for Sloth Sanctuary. We have Nasha on Brightwing. Rabbit is playing Chromie. Paradox, Blaze, and Lucio, last but not least, is playing Hanzo. Tacita, by the way, going straight into Static Charge. So once again, coming in with the Resonance Beam over here. We saw that build already utilized in the previous series. With level 1, we're getting the new habits for Blaze. Always hard to get used to those. But, yeah. Muradin, nice little pony. This is like the combo for Muradin. If you go for the Candy King Muradin, then this is kind of the standard combo for the hero. You just see that everywhere. So, with that said and done, we got Jojo obviously fighting this out a bit up at the top. We already have Paradox and Simba just starting the rotation between the mid and the top lane. This is obviously something that will continue throughout the more or less the rest of the game, just trying to double soak as best as you can. Depends a little bit on whether or not teams are dedicating a second hero to help out here, and right now at least we have Hanzo helping out in the middle, which also moves Johanna there for just a second. But both of the teams have now claimed their pumpkin camps. Muradin also getting a little bit murdered over here in the rotation. So is Jojo. Nice. Yeah. Good slow. Good body block. Bit of extra damage. And there's the wall. I would have loved to see that, by the way, with Diablo again. We had so many cool games in this tournament where Diablo was paired with Tacita and just every single wall was used as a stun opportunity for Diablo. So it was pretty sweet. I mean, right now, there's already the first tower down. They're working on the second one, so the blue team is trying to push for these little wins, and they're doing it well. Chromie gets healed. Muradin with third wind on level 1, so more survivability for him. But thanks to the structures that just now got destroyed, we have Nakivin a bit ahead on experience. So, with that, Subdue on level 4, of course. Zul with the Reaper's Toll. And Hanzo is helping out Blaze currently. So Blaze is having some problems keeping up with Zul here and needs assistance, which is where Hanzo comes into play. Oh, nice wall! Beautiful wall! That was awesome. Very cool play from Tacita. Sees an opportunity, locks it in, and the rest of the team follows up. They get the kill on Chromie. That's first blood for the blue team. And since Hanzo is consistently busy in the mid and top lane, they are using that numbers advantage. Talking about Zul, by the way, apparently he bit off a bit more than he can chew and was murdered by Hanzo. The blue team is getting value in exchange. They have half of the hit points of the bottom bell tower already eliminated. And of course, top side, Blaze is still getting work for the team done. Zul has now to rotate back in as the altars are spawning. Puts a bit more pressure on Zul. Junkrat is actually helping him out, at least initially. But this also means that still, Nakivine has a bit of an early game lead over the opponent's team. So right now, first altar already channeled, same is happening for the red team, and now it's as usual the battle over the third altar. Oh, Tazadar eating the Stormbolt. Got the wall out, but Muradin is the one that might be in trouble. Brightwing attacked by Zul. It's an entire 5 versus 5 now at the bottom of the map. No level 7 talents yet, but Jojo is running out of mana, and she's not the only one, so the blue team is slowly starting to fall back. Probably to tap the fountain, at least with some of the heroes. Zul is back up in the middle and trying to get the experience lead. Paradox with the channel, and Junkrat got the angle for the interrupt. But now... Ooh, yeah, there it is. Zul is still pushing, so the longer they can make these moves here, the better. But the all... No, they interrupted again. Nice. So this is actually starting to become a little bit annoying, because Zul is now pushing at the top. But Tessada, yeah, was in a bit of trouble. Zul rotating between the top and the middle, and Junkrat is still interrupting. And now there's level 7 for both of the teams. Zul is already back up towards the top lane, and he is getting mad value out of all of this. Build for Tessada, by the way, changed a little bit to what we saw previously from him, so now he's going more for a hybrid, with also the Psionic Echo on level 7. But the altar is still being fought over, and Blaze has realized that he can't just sit with the rest of the team at the bottom altar, but that he has to actually meet the rotation, which is exactly what he does right now. So well done by Nakivine, applying pressure through soaking the side lane, and being now in a bit of an advantageous position. They have caught up in some of the experience and done some structural damage. Nothing insane, but again, every little bit matters. So, still the poke. That fight has been going on for a while. And Zul is still taking the minion waves down in the mid lane. Always rotating over there. Good Stormbolt connect. Muradin might be in some trouble. Very good lurking arm also from Stukov. That nearly led to a kill against Brightwing. The altar still in play, and now it's actually for the first time the blue team that is threatening to grab it. And they do. They're gonna grab it. Yep, Lucy is trying to interrupt, and he's a second too late. The shots get fired, and Nakivine pulls ahead. Well done. Hanzo gets killed a moment later, so he went in for the interrupt and found the sweet embrace of death instead. Tessada dropping him, so that's kill number 2 for the blue team. And, well, they pull ahead on the core points, on the objective. And they now also have a bit of an upper hand when it comes to structures that they were able to attack, as you can see here at the top and middle. And as I said before, it's not really a big lead. Bot lane, slightly different. There they took half the HP out. But that was still a pretty nice skirmish from the blue team's perspective. They delayed the altar channel for a long time, got value from Zul on the side lane, pulled ahead a bit in experience, and in the end were able to get the altar too. So now they have the level 10 at the same time as their opponent does. No crazy surprises here so far. Another wall. Oh, and the Blessed Shield misses. Blessed Shield misses. Arrow from Hanzo. And this one hurts. TT gets sucked back in and somehow was still about to make it out again. Muradin jumps away, but Tessada, I mean, I honestly don't know he survived as long as he did, but he finally fell. Went for the black hole as his level 10 choice. That was an important kill for the Sloth Sanctuary. The rotation continues between Blaze and Zul. And the next objective is a single altar at the bottom of the map. One altar is all they got now. And... yeah, I mean, Tessada is back for the fight. No talent advantages here. So it's about as straight up as it gets, as long as they get the initial interrupt. And yep, Junkrat is on it. Zul could even rotate down now that Blaze is at the top. So if they wanted to have a 5 versus 4 advantage for a short period of time, he could actually start to flank in on this. Might be exactly what he's going to do here. Or does he match Blaze? Yes, Jojo! And here comes the ult from Tessada. They get 1 kill, they want 2, and Brightwing gets out. So the altar is most likely going to be theirs again. But they could have done even more here. And also Hanzo getting attacked. That's a bell tower that gets claimed in just a moment. So not only do they get the altar channel, but they also take the opponent's bell tower away and make this a 5 versus 3 for now. So Nakiveen again successful in that team fight. Muradin jumps out and was lucky that the lurking arm didn't come in sooner. If that lurking arm is just a bit faster, then he needs to somehow get around that wall, and good luck with that. He would have most likely died right there. But you have the long-ranged artillery with Chromie, and this is obviously gonna make a grab on the bell tower a lot easier. So they're gonna try and take this one back. But we also have a camp taken at the same time, so the slithery snack is turning into the sneaky snack over here. As it starts to take that bell tower apart. Sorry, the pumpkins first, in order to prepare for the push through the bot lane. So more advantages now for the blue team. I mean, they're making play after play here. And again, they're trying to set this up. Look at this combo. They're getting a kill on Hanzo like it's absolutely nothing. Job well done. They have the lurking arm there immediately. With 13, we now get it hungers as well. They connect the pumpkins with the core, drop a few more points, have the wall, and then even Tacida's ult, and that nets them a quick kill against Hanzo. If anything, it just shocks me that they don't get more kills in these situations, because the combos are on point. I mean, this is working out really, really well for them. Now, to be fair, the gap between the two teams isn't insane. So, this is very, very much salvageable. There's always the threat of the team in... arrow of the team in blue pulling farther ahead, especially now that they're channeling again and getting another big volley fired against the opponent. But there's the chance to just win one team fight and then turn it around. But Muradin dies, and that's the end of Blaze. So that's a double kill against them. And I gotta say, it's really that Tacita combo together with Stukov that works so incredibly well for them. They get the double kill here too, and this is starting to be nasty. That combo just shuts down plays from the Sloth Sanctuary over and over again. Another set of shots is now fired. That's 8 kills to 2. They got another altar channel. We're talking 12 points against 36 on the core right now. Mad moves that we're getting from the blue team. I love the combos that they're executing. The combos that they're executing are so great right now. And at this point, it's a play for the bell tower in the middle. So they're trying to take another one. Zul is pushing top side, so not only pushing one lane, they're going for both. They have, in addition to that, also level 16 talent, so the advantages are just everywhere. Pressure in the top lane, pressure at the bot lane. They're getting all of it. And it's really difficult for the red team to establish a foothold here. Especially since they still need to try and retake the bell tower down at the bottom of the map. So that's another project that currently have going on right here. They might be able to grab this one though. They have the advantage of running Chromie in this. But it's also partly because Jojo isn't even here. If we see another combo with a Blessed Shield into Lurking Arm, into a Tacita wall, then I think it will lead to more deaths on the side of Sloth Sanctuary. And them being now down one talent is obviously not helping their case at all. I mean, not even a little bit. So that's a huge problem right now. And we'll see if they can make it to level 16 and then force a proper team fight or what we're going to get here. But for the time being, it is one team that drives the game and the dynamic of it, and that is Nakiveen. The Finnish team, one altar is now up. They could drop the opponent down into the single digits. And, well, we'll see if they can pull that off. By now, we have again, there's the wall, Stukov, Chromie eliminated, they go for Muradin. He makes it out of the fight. Even Brightwing escaped. Oh, and I spoke too soon. Muradin gets actually crushed. Tacita is just brutalizing them. Another 5 shots fired. Tacita at 37,000 damage. They go for another set of pumpkins, but to tell you the truth, they could just go into the middle and take more altar control. If they connect those pumpkins, by the way, one altar channel or the boss is going to end the game in favor of Nakiveen. And that's exactly what they're playing for here. They want those 3 in. And chances are that's exactly what's happening. There's only 2 defenders, and 1, 2, 3. All 3 make it through. That means 4 points on the core. But they have level 16. They got level 16 right now, so they can fight on even talents, and they're retaking the bell tower. Not that Nakivine really cares about this bell tower anymore. I don't think that's a good idea, though. Really? I mean, they got good ults, don't get me wrong, but this is a bit on the nose. Guys, you're 2 levels ahead, essentially. I would probably play this a bit slower. Okay, if the red team insists, that's a different story. Now they're low. Now you can actually try and make a play for it, but I suppose they're just gonna let this one slide. Honestly, at the end, after the red team decided that they want to go for that fight, I wouldn't even have minded Nakivine re-engaging. The red team was low, and you have Blessed Shield, you have a Lurking Arm, you have a Poison Nova, you have the Slap, you have a lot of really good tools where you can make those moves. But they decided to wait for the objective, for a simple reason. It's a triple altar. So with a triple altar being the next play, you have a very, very good chance of grabbing this. Hanzo is down at the bottom of the map, he's going up against Junkrat. Yep, Junkrat already with the channel. Hanzo has already been figured out. The Blessed Shield misses as they go for the typical combo. Here comes Jojo. They go for Brightwing. The Fruit Fly makes it. Muradin a little bit low. Hanzo channels at the bottom of the map, but we have now Junkrat up at the top. They get the kill on Brightwing, and they're gonna wreck everybody. That's a triple kill. The channel about to happen. The arrow too late, and this is game. Nakivine with a 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series here at the losers bracket final. GG.
Coming up next, we have game number 3 for you guys. Before we go, a big shout out to everybody that is supporting the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Really appreciate the support, guys. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support the channel, if you want to support our efforts to keep the Heroes of the Storm esports scene live with all of the events and tournaments that we're hosting, then please consider to check out patreon.com/Khaldor and support the channel there. It's the best way to support all of the things that we're currently doing for the scene and plan to do in the future. With that being said, enjoy the next game of the series.
BOE, Battlefield of Eternity, is map number 3, and interestingly enough, it is the Sloth Sanctuary that decided in favor of the map. So we have a 2-0 advantage right now for Nakivine, meaning it's match point, and it's going to be tough for the red team, I'm not going to lie. Winning 3 in a row, not impossible, but still a bit tricky. Now, there are a couple of reasons why you could actually win 3 in a row. I mean, first of all, gaining momentum is always a thing. Your opponent might run out of heroes that they are comfortable with. Even in the HGC days, we had sometimes total series just being flipped because one team played at the beginning the maps they were really strong at and then had to play continuously on maps where they were getting weaker and weaker and weaker. That happened particular in some of the matches where we had Western teams going up against Korea, for example. But over here, winning 3 in a row is going to be tough. So let's see if the Sanctuary can start with 1 W on BOE at least. They seem to have confidence in the map at least. Stitches gets banned, and Hogger also gets the axe. It's kind of funny. It feels like the blue team is just looking at the game and thinks about, okay, what are picks that would annoy us where we can't control things enough? And Stitches with that hook that comes out of nowhere, and the Gorge follow-up is one of them, especially since we still have some combo heroes around, like Medivh, for example. With 2 maps already played, that means 20 heroes are now unavailable. Maiev gets banned. And they ban out Diablo. It's a bit of a shame. I really like the way that they comboed off, particularly Stukov with Tassadar on the last map. So it really feels like Nakivine has a couple of these comps up their sleeve, and I want to see what they're now going to do now. Now, just real quickly, we still have, for example, a variant combo up as a potential choice. Now, initially you might want to go for your damage. Vala, for example, hasn't been picked in the series yet, so on Battlefield of Eternity she might be a good choice, and well, there is the Vala pick. So very likely this is going to be an arrow build for them. Hanzo has already been played. You obviously have Greymane up that you can still take. But Li Ming has been played too. Chromie has been played. A lot of the heroes that you would oftentimes see on Battlefield of Eternity to get in damage from afar are now already eliminated. Hanzo, also not an option any longer. So Greymane is probably a good shot for you. And there's Greymane. And we get Lunara for the extra asset that she's going to drop on them. But now this is where things are gonna get a bit more interesting, because now there's more options on the side lane and also as the main tanks. Specifically, main tank will most likely be picked pretty quickly too. I just hope that we're not gonna see the liability here. This is one of those moments where some teams are oftentimes baited into picking ARTANIS because they're like, oh, amateur opponent, extra damage, immortal. And it always backfires. But they go Leo. They go Leo, and we get White Mane. Okay. So, Leorki. What could you combo with an Entomb? I mean, the first thing that really come to mind when we're talking Entomb is either a combo with Stukov or one with maybe Hanzo. Both of those are already gone. Technically, you could go Falstad and then try and go Gust Isolation, but I don't think this is going to be a thing they play on Battlefield of Eternity. But every single time that I see them now pick anything, just looking at them, I'm thinking, what could you combo with that? What could they do? I was more expecting one of the teams to go for a variant comp. And I suppose Sloth Sanctuary could still do that. They could go for variant here. Lunara damage, Greymane damage, you can burn a target down. Just need to make sure that you have somebody that gets an additional stun in, like a Root, for example. And, well, seems like the blue team agrees, so they're just banning out Varian. I don't blame them at all. Would probably be exactly what I would do here, too. Now, you can still play around this a little bit, but he would have been, could have been a threat. So, for the red team, they go Tyrael. And I suppose we're going to get the support for now. But yeah, with Tyrael you have now... With Greymane the option goes Sanctification. Oh, they go for Lily again. Yeah, we saw that a few times already. I don't think that Lily won a game for them so far. Got kind of close-ish in the last series. But they believe in Lily. It's a lot of trust that they have for that little panda. I'm not quite sure if I share that. So, Tyrael Lily is the choice. There's too many good supports that were still up. Yeah. I have trouble looking at this pick and being like, okay, this is worth it. Kerrigan Melganis. Look at that front line. Leo, Kerrigan, Melganis. That's a lot of CC. We might see auto-attack Vala. She could go Arrow. But this might also be auto-attack here. With a triple front line like this, you could definitely go into a full AA style with Creed of the Hunter if you wanted to. Both are possible here. No. I have to admit one thing. ARTANIS can be fun, I get it. He's just not a good side laner. Compared to the other options that you have. What I don't understand is why he's so popular. I really don't get it. That you have a little bit of popularity, fine. But why is ARTANIS so popular? It's crazy. Anyways, guys, game 3. Let's go. Game number 3. Let's go. The snack on Vala for the blue team. We got Lazamehu and White Mane. TT on Kerrigan. Ordorox is playing Melganis. And we got Simba on Leoric. For Morpheus, for the red team, for the Sanctuary, we got Tyrael. We have Zal's Decay on Lunara. Nasha on Lily. Amateur opponent. Yeah, they got baited. ARTANIS is played by Rabbit. And we have Lucy on Greymane. I honestly don't really like to be in that spot where I'm shitting on ARTANIS regularly. The problem is just simply that ARTANIS is not a good hero if your main goal is winning. And I'm not saying that he can't add anything to your composition. Obviously, you can always argue, oh, if he's gonna get that big swap, or ARTANIS gets the extra damage on the Immortal. But the truth of the matter is just simply, he's trash compared to the alternatives that you can play in the role. That's just it. He adds things, he gives you a couple of nice tools, but all of those pale in comparison to what other heroes in the same role can give you. So, if they buffed him, I have actually spoken out in the past of ARTANIS getting buffed. I would love to see him buffed. I don't hate the hero itself, it's just not a good choice. What I don't understand is why that hero is getting played so much. His win rate has been abysmal for the last couple of years in competitive play. He's been an absolute disaster in competitive play. I mean, I think his win rate is single digits. That's how bad it is. And he still gets played every now and then, specifically in the amateur scene. Now, as I said before, you can win a game with ARTANIS. But if you win a game with ARTANIS, again, in a competitive play, you win despite the pick, not because of it. So, yeah, amateur opponent it is. They have enough damage for the Immortal, by the way, one way or another. You got Lunara and you got Greymane. So, Lily falls first. Free drinks for the Panda. And by the top lane, we got our 1v1 over there. A bit of a drain against ARTANIS already. Vala has gone for the arrow build, so let's go. And yeah, let's just see what they're doing. But, I mean, I even called the ARTANIS pick, so somebody fell for it. The triple front line, let's see what they can do. But, yeah. It baffles me. It really baffles me. I'm really trying to not be an ARTANIS hater. Again, I don't hate the hero. Initially I'm coming from Warcraft, but I casted StarCraft 2 for such a long time in Korea. I like the game. I like the IP, but it's just it's weird to do. So, top side, ARTANIS needed a little bit of help and got it, so Leo is down, but Greyming got dropped at the bottom of the map, so Vala is working towards some additional stacks for her level 1, so that with level 7 later on, she can start to do the real work for the team, and that's what she's going to be looking for. We have, in the meantime, still Simba respawning topside and starting to do his thing. As over on the right side, camps will be claimed as well. So it's not only the blue team that is going for their own shaman camp. We also have the Sloth Sanctuary over here. So Lily is in and is going to try and keep the team alive again. I mean, good luck with that. It already backfired a bit in the earlier stages, but Kerrigan should be the one that is really on her whenever we have something happen here. We got the shield surge. One chance could be that they just don't have... Oh, nearly the stun into the Immortal Sun. Boy, that was close. But Greyming is gone. Vala dies a second later, so they're just trading damage dealers. With Vala, interestingly enough, only hitting a single arrow in that encounter. I expected her to get more stacks out of this with ease. But, yeah, Leo is now dealing with the camp up at the top. Rest of the team is currently defending. Vala will be back in just a moment, and nobody has taken the halftime shot yet. Greyming is on the move. And Leo, topside, is just going for the swing against the Shaman. I mean, at this point, he could have just let it move into the tower range, but it doesn't really matter too much. So, Vala is back. They're actually getting closer to level 7 now, with this being dragged out this long. Yeah. So, Vala could still get some stacks here. They're trying to tee her up. Arrow connects. Nicely done. Maybe even a vault. Gets the arrow out, but they have to be very careful that they're not playing when they don't have vision here. So cooldown's going to be back up in a second. Vala with another arrow, gets another connected after she resets it with a vault. So this little skirmish is really helping them, and they're taking the panda out once again. So that's the second death against Lily. Vala with another double arrow, and she's sitting at 12 now. That's not bad. Vala is currently using this entire encounter to just stack her level 1. They could have gone for the attack at the Immortal a little bit sooner than they actually did, but they decided to just play this out. Now even Lunara gets dropped, and the halftime show is inching closer and closer. And Vala, by the way, has now also her level 7, so this is going to be an easy time for her. Vala should be able to win this objective for the blue team without having any problems whatsoever. She still has mana, so they're going to do their thing right there. One arrow after another, and look how quickly they're burning this down right now. I mean, easy. Only with 12 stacks. Monster Hunter alone is fantastic, and of course they had the team there too. But this is going to be great for them. So, not too shabby. It's going to be very, very interesting how this plays out in the long run right now, but for the time being, Nakiveen has taken a significant lead here. With 5 kills to 2, they pulled ahead in experience. We have them with a decent shield on the Immortal, now moving on to the top lane. And with the aggressive plays that we could see from Mal'Ganis and Kerrigan, they can obviously set the team up too. So already, a bit of an attempt from Mal'Ganis here. Starting to push that wall down quickly. Leo at the bottom of the map going up against ARTANIS. In comes the combo attempt. Kerrigan, well, could try and go for it here. Vala hoping, of course, to get some additional stacks. Yeah, but just fires the arrows out. Not even targeting anything here. They're just trying to get extra damage in on the fort itself. Odorox, for some reason, thought it was a great idea to YOLO himself into the fight. So that's the end of Mal'Ganis. And who knows, Kerrigan might fall too. Tries to jump out. Lily, thankfully for her, provided a target. So Kerrigan actually survives. Impressive. Did not expect that. I mean, Vala, at this point, a bit too optimistic. Oh god. Vala just like moved in YOLO's arrow after arrow, just in that general direction. It's like, nah, something's gonna hit. It's basically the shotgun principle right there. They're gonna hit something on that end. Not so much. Rabbit down at the bottom of the map. Yeah, already starting to have some problems here against Simba. Top side. Okay. Still, the attack, this time from the red team, but Vala with more opportunities to get some stacks. She's not hitting anything anymore, though. I think Slithery Snack took a shot every time that he connected an arrow, so he's already 12 deep, which completely explains why he hasn't connected anything since. There's one, and misses the second one. To be fair, that was more so on Narsha just dodging it. So Narsha just with a little sidestep, making sure that the second arrow doesn't connect. But the Snack is probably a bit frustrated here. I mean, at the beginning, worked extremely well. It was awesome. And then all of the stacking fell apart. ARTANIS with the suppression pulse. Judgment for Tyrael. I mean, we're judging too. This mount, by the way, is a little bit weird to me because honestly, I think this mount is just... not the mount, I think the skin is just crap. I'm really not a fan of the Mecha Tyrael, and I can't even tell you why. Like, in theory, I absolutely love it. I'm a big mech fan, and especially on the anime side. But the Tyrael one, it just doesn't do anything for me. I think Tyrael has much, much better skins than this one. And it's just not great. So, yeah, doesn't do anything for me, I gotta admit. So, yes, we're judging. Tyrael is going for judgment on 10, and we're judging him too. And I'm sorry, dude, but... nope. Not really a thing. So, objective is up. Vala with 13 stacks. Still enough to get them the Immortal if they can make the play for it. Obviously, they're lacking the long-range potential that Lunara, for example, brings in. Also, if you start moving out and Tyrael says, hey, I'm gonna go for it, very little that he can do about that. Yeah, Morganis moved in. Vala wants some stacks and gets some stacks. What do you know? So, comes in again and gets instantly attacked. The swap attempt from Rabbit not really working out. They got one arrow connected. They need a lot more in order to make this work. Red team still aggressive because Kerrigan has shown at the top lane. But they are trying to make the play right there. Vala with a few more stacks. ARTANIS with the ult. Flanking in slowly. Swap attempt. This time successful. But it's ARTANIS that might be in trouble because of it. Then Kerrigan. Too much damage on her. But they get the counter kill on ARTANIS. Who else? Kerrigan and ARTANIS both gone. Lily just throwing her little temper tantrum where she starts to heal everybody. And then all of a sudden, cups just keep flying. They go for Lunara too. Vala connecting the arrows, getting the stacks, and now able to go for the objective as the team is fighting again. And this time it's a choke point. Great main trying to come in deep. White main with a heal. And Lucy also running out of mana here. Get the arrows connected. Vala, for a second it looked like she didn't start. She didn't see the stun circle. Oh boy, yeah. But she's running out of mana. They won the halftime show for her, but Vala is running out of mana very, very quickly and should honestly not stay there any longer. They should have retreated and just tapped the fountain, but instead they're going for kills, and they're getting some. They're going for Lily and take her down again. Vala is just relying on auto attacks at this point. And she asked for it. I mean, Vala dying, and now the entire team falling apart. They honestly asked for this. Guys, I'm sorry, but whatever. Like... you ran out of hit points, you ran out of mana, and you ran out of room. At some point, you just gotta say, okay, boys, let's go back and tap a fountain. So, look at this. Nobody had mana anymore there. If you can't use your abilities and the only thing that you're relying upon is your auto attack, then obviously this is gonna turn against you. So, the red team is able to get the objective with a half-level shield. And, yep, 13 on both sides. Vala on 21 stacks, good for her. But the push is gonna turn against them now. So, got a bit awkward here. They had nothing left. Yeah. Vala with 22. She's starting to connect a lot again. And this is going to help them to take the Immortal, of course, out as well. So, got to prioritize a little bit what they want to do here. Is Vala trying to stack or she's just trying to take the Immortal down? Okay, apparently the focus shifted a bit. But Odorox is low. The fountain's still there. And while it's still there, they're tapping it quickly. That's the first fort gone, though. So you gotta give it to the Sloths. They are eager to make this the start of a comeback. Taking the first fort of the game out, even though they're still behind in kills. Good for them. 34,000 damage for Vala. We got 30,000 for Greymane. Yep, and the camp even claimed by the boys since Tyrael just cut the path of retreat off a little bit. And ARTANIS is suffering against the skin and bones at the top. So, yeah, another camp about to be claimed as the red team is making their way towards the Khaldor camp. White Mane and Tyrael haven't died yet in this game. Vala now moving topside too. They're actually trying to contest this, but they are second too late. So, trying to also defend, of course. Kerrigan is the one at the bottom of the map now going up against ARTANIS. And Vala keeps connecting arrows. She's at 24. That objective is looking better and better for them. Again, the extra damage with every single connect, you get 6 extra damage on the initial hit. And since you can get 2 out with a vault, that's 12 damage with every single arrow that you get. That adds up very quickly. Especially once they were talking about Acrobat later on. Not there yet, obviously, but still. So they can go for the next camp, set that up for the push at the bottom. Vala is also helpful here. Slithery should really go back. Dude, you have half of your mana pool currently. Yeah. Vala drains her mana very, very quickly if you keep getting double arrows in. So another blow would probably not be a bad thing. Right now, this is a bit of a problem. Maybe not use too many multi-shots here. Well, yeah, 1 arrow already out. Tries another one and misses it. But the problem is still the same. Vala should have been at the objective immediately. I have no idea why they're dancing around there. Why is Vala not here? Like, seriously, what am I missing? What are you doing? That's a yellow card right there. You should have been on the objective a long, long time ago. Get the arrows in. They want the team fight. Alright. And they take Lily down again. The Panda is more dead than alive throughout this game. Leo isn't even here. He's now making his way. This is a 4 versus 5, essentially. But I have still no clue what is happening. Why is Vala defending? Girl, you can take this thing by yourself. They get the Entomb. They get another kill. And, well, Kerrigan is dead, so it's at least a counter kill. Greyman is going for Vala immediately. But this is still something. I mean, they gotta retreat and heal up. But it's just crazy that they're gonna lose the halftime show. I am flabbergasted. I have no idea what to say. I mean, if you are using that as an opportunity to stack and you're willing to give up your objective, I mean, that's not even fair enough. That's like, okay. But this is wild. They could have just moved in and Vala could have taken the halftime show by herself easily. Rest of the team defends the choke point a little bit, falls back slowly, and then you're going to do your thing there. But now they're going to lose this objective again. Unless they're somehow able to, you know, connect a good combo with Kerrigan, get 2 kills right away, and then force the entire red team back. But if they keep poking a bit, then, yeah. Lily, for example, died 4 times already, and they're not capitalizing on these kills enough. Nucky Veen is their biggest opponent at this point. ARTANIS is top lane, so they could push this. Kind of starting it already as we speak. They want Lily again. Yeah, they got it set up. Here's the combo, and can they get the damage? Vala moves out, arrow, and the double kill. They get 2. They lose White Mane. It's not over yet. Greyman is dead, and that is the end of the fight, likely. The rabbit is still alive. Tries to get the kill and gets then murdered a second later. So now they win the big team fight with 4 taken out, and that allows them to go for the objective. So I guess they're going to win this one after all. But look how quickly Vala can actually burn this thing down when she starts connecting arrows. So yeah, totally crazy to me that they had an open path to the Immortal and didn't use it earlier to attack this thing right away. So yeah, good for them that they won the team fight, but they gave the Sanctuary way too many chances. Their positioning was fantastic on the first part of the objective rotation. They're still ahead in experience too. We have 14 kills against 9. 30 stacks for Vala. Also Manticore, of course, now, which helps a little bit against the front line. We got Vala on 52,000 damage, Lunara with the top damage in the game at 58k. Leo's pushing the top lane, and they're now attacking down at the bottom of the map. Yeah, Open this up a little bit further. Really aggressive here. I mean, they want Vala. She is playing some aggressive moves, but also Whitemane is paying attention. So you have that pocket healer the entire time that is really having your back. And you should be thankful for that. Leoric is gonna get the fort at the top, down at the bottom of the map. This one has obviously fallen already. And Vala again low and just gets healed and healed and healed and healed. Lazameho is out of mana though. So they gotta fall back here again. They're gonna die again. They're gonna die again because they just don't have anything. They're sacrificing half the team for Vala. Leo should honestly fall back too. The Immortal is still doing damage, by the way. So now Whitemane is gone. She had no mana, need to retreat here. Leo, dude, just get out. You're not saving him. Why? Just why? What did you think you would do here? Simba, what do you think would happen? That you go 1v5 and take them all down? Once that they ran out of mana on Whitemane, they needed to retreat. This is a general theme here. This happened now 2 or 3 times, that they were running out of mana and hit points and just decided that they would play this out longer. Judgment is, by the way, up. Vala is asking for it here. They have Leo back in a moment, but they are currently asking to be killed. They might lose this keep. So it's the same theme the entire time. The blue team is essentially ahead. They're making good moves, and then they ruin it and fall behind. They've just lost their keep. They just lost their keep. They won the objective, they pushed with it, and as a result, they lost the keep. So, yeah, that's where we're at. And this keeps happening. So, we'll see. Both teams are going to have level 20. That gives us also Acrobat. And I am very, very curious to see what happens on the next objective. Vala with Acrobat can basically take this by herself while the rest defends. Easily. So, let's see what they're going to do. I mean, first of all, we're getting Purged the Wicked. Vala goes for Acrobat. Judgment got upgraded. Double charge. Yeah, well, they're a bit early here. So they're trying to defend them. Yeah, they start to defend. Vala, obviously, can take a little bit of damage in. Whitemane gets attacked. And insta-reaction against Tyrael. Insta-reaction. Yeah, well, they clump up a little bit too hard. Good heal from Lily, but the problem is that ARTANIS wasn't there. And now, again, Vala, please. Come here. To the left. Yeah, come here. Gucci, go. That's a good Vala. That's a good Vala. Nice. Okay, so Vala starts taking this one. Rest of the team is defending. 16 kills to 12 and just 42 stacks now. Alright, so over on the right side, they're starting to get some counter damage in, but after the initial burst that we saw from the Sanctuary, it's now the blue team that is running this. Greymane has gone for the camp at the top. They still have to wait for ARTANIS to be back, which is going to take a while. And no, Lily! The grief! They're griefing too hard. Yeah, well, the arrows, they keep connecting now. That's a decent shield on the Immortal. That's a big one. That needs to be a keep. They need to get a keep out of this. So, half mana on Vala. Gets stunned. Whitemane is back. And now they just need to make sure... Yeah, they get the globes here too. So now they just need to make sure that they are this time retreating if they start running out of mana. That would be the play. If you have still a cooldown on the fountain, this is probably the moment to use it. And the red team is already attempting to push this fight a little bit forward. But Tyrael... Yeah, the Entomb... Nope, that wasn't quite optimal here. Vala still dancing around ARTANIS though. Dance around him, gets the arrows connected, drops him, but Whitemane is also gone. Vala still slowly retreating, getting the hits in, moves back, has a fountain cooldown and uses it. So we still have ARTANIS gone. They got the kill. They traded 1v1. The problem is that Kerrigan gets the combo. And that's the end of Greymane. Lunara is the only survivor. Bambi is gone. And Vala is still alive. That's the moment to hearth and yeah, count your blessings. So they made it somehow. Vala is now at 48 stacks. Now, in the meantime, we're having the Immortal taking the keep out. They should actually go for core here. I just don't know if they can without Whitemane. And Vala is obvious. Vala is not even coming. Vala is defending the bot lane. I think you could have ended that game, boys. I think you could have ended that game. So... Okay, they decide against it. I would have tried. That, I mean, look how much the Immortal does by itself. Now imagine if they are there with the rest of the team. Leo... Close call, my friend. That was clutch. If he respawns there, he's dead. Oh boy. Some of the things here. Alright, so they're now going through the bottom of the map to pressure this a bit further. There's lots of catapults, of course, spawning topside now because they still have their fort. Blue team. But Sloth Sanctuary is doing whatever they can in order to take this. Yeah. I'm waiting for Leo to try and entomb over the wall. To be honest, could have done it here. White Mane is staying far behind right now. She knows that she's the target. Her and Vala are the biggest ones. Alright. On the next objective, I really want Vala just ignoring the team fight and just go for it. As long as the team doesn't int, you're gonna take it. 48 stacks. 48 stacks is basically an additional 300 damage with every arrow that you connect. You have, again, every single arrow, and you have Acrobat. That's a lot of resets right there. So you do just with 2-3, you get an extra 1,000 damage in. That's a ton. So they should definitely utilize this as best as they can. Now, the models are spawning. Everybody's getting ready for the next fight. And keep in mind, if anyone wins the team fight big time, it's basically game. Because both teams have an open alley here. So, yeah, Vala gets a few connects. 1, 2, 3. And just look how quickly that Immortal is down. They just got 12,000 HP off that Immortal just to that. Easy. Mana, super important, obviously. So you gotta be careful on this. But they're falling back very, very heavily and allow Lunara to get there. She's going to spread this out massively with 4 of the Wildlands that she picked up on 20. Which we've already seen that previously. Camp at the bottom of the map is going to help a little bit. Top lane, they shouldn't really be too worried about this. Kerrigan can get some damage in, but they got the catapults there too. And Greymane is doing the same thing down at the bottom of the map now. So with Leo helping out, they're going to be back in the middle of the map in a moment. Vala's still looking fine here. Good mana, White Mane as well, keeping herself way in the back. And the red team is looking for opportunities to get the judgment through. Or to jump on her with Greymane, maybe even get a swap with ARTANIS. Everybody knows that this could be the last fight. It should be the last fight. We're 25 minutes in now. And the Lunara damage, that's the big part now. Her damage numbers, where is she at this point? 105,000 is what we're talking. Okay, Vala. Calm down. Calm down for a second. Oh my god. She thinks she's Robin Hood or something. One arrow after another. Alright. Yeah, 1, 2... Yeah, exactly. Like, vault towards Tyrael. What could happen? I was waiting for that judgment to pop up. He's just gonna bait her in, and he's just like, yeah, you go, girl. Come here. She gets more stacks, and again, it's more damage, but the problem still the same. Who's going to engage the first time here? 51 stacks now for Vala. Nobody makes it towards the Immortal. And at the end of the day, it's a battle of attrition. And Lunara with big damage, obviously. She keeps poking. And that's they're losing the Immortal. Very slowly, but they're losing it here. They need to decide if they want to go for a fight or not. Vala's coming in. There's the ult set up by Malgadis. Kerrigan misses the combo. The judgment! And Kerrigan gets her Chrysalis out. And there's the kills. ARTANIS, Greymane, they're both gone. Tyrael eliminated. And the explosion on Kerrigan. And once again, White Mane without mana. Guys, don't fall into the same trap again. They get Lily, but look at how much Lunara is doing here. Lunara is wrecking everything in their path. And gets finally killed. It's a 5-man team wipe. And they go to the top lane. Alright. I was for a second thinking, are they really going for the objective right now? They got catapults pushing through the top lane, and even with everybody being this low, there is just no problem. You get the catapults on the core, and this is going to be an absolute nightmare already. Get the catapults in, take this one out, just make sure that you're not dying to the core itself, you're totally fine. Nicely done. Nakivin, they take the losers bracket final. Was a fun one. Sloth Sanctuary ends up 3rd place in the tournament, and the blue team advances to the grand final. GG and well played.